Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I have my latest completed journal, which is obviously Alice in Wonderland themed. Super excited about this little book. I will actually have at least one more similar Alice in Wonderland journal coming probably later on this week. So keep your eyes open for that. But I just wanted to do a flip through really fast and just kind of show you how this journal turned out. I love it. Okay, so I added some little buttons and tokens and these Alice in Wonderland stamps, which were actually stickers, and I used like Shabby Dabby Doodah's little tutorial. I love doing this, making little charms out of the stamps. So that's what I did. So there's two of those, and then some little vintage tax tokens, and this is a real mother of pearl button. And then, yeah, so the back is pretty much identical to the front. Just like two lace trims over the fabric binding. So let's go inside. Okay, so let me move this jar a little bit. Oop. Okay, so my end page, I really wanted to put a book plate, but I couldn't find one that I really love, so I am going to make a book plate, and I'll post a picture of that, but it'll be later on today that I do that. I added a tab to each of the signatures, and like my hymnal journal that I made a few weeks ago, I actually stitched all my pages together. So they're all at least 2 pages thick, which is nice because they're really sturdy and durable. So everything in this book except like the actual little golden book pages and these book pages has been coffee stained. So it has that really nice coffee smell. Oh, and one last note about each of the signatures. I did the same thing I did with my hymnal and added a large pocket on the start and finish of each of my signatures. So you'll have like a lot of storage in this book also. Okay, so in this first signature big pocket, I added a little extra notebook. So it's just got some coffee stained like graph paper, grid paper, and then this is actually a little pocket. So that just tucks inside here, and obviously anything that tucks you can move around. It does kind of bulk up this first little pocket a little bit. And then in this little tuck spot, behind I put some mushrooms and just cut out. I didn't want to cover the back. I just thought these little illustrations were so cute. So I just tucked that in there. And you can use that in your own journaling or whatever you'd like to do with it. I glued that page a little bit. Okay. So I tried to use all of the original pages as a flip out. So you still get the journaling space behind, and also you get to still like have the original book pages in the journal. So I also added some fabric tabs, but this time, instead of stitching them to the outside, which takes up some of your journaling space, I stitched them in between because obviously I stitched all my pages together, so I might as well take advantage of that and actually stitch these inside. This is a little double book page pocket. And then I made a little journaling card, which actually has a flip out on the back, so you get a lot of journaling space. Plus, I kind of stitched up the back a little bit. So you can still write over this, obviously, but since I used black thread this time, I wanted to give you some journaling space, so I did that. And just flipping through. This is a little pocket and then another pocket here. I didn't put anything in this pocket, obviously, but I did add an altered paper clip there. So here's another flip out. I'm like cleaning up threads as I'm flipping through. And oh, obviously this is avocado dyed. I just wanted to kind of tie in some of the pink that I used in random spots. Plus, I mean, that's obviously the book page, so I couldn't change that. So I wanted to tie it in. And then this is attached with a brad, which I actually reinforced and covered on the back so that like the little brad back is not going to poke a hole through this side of the page. And then that flips up to give you more journaling space. This is possibly my favorite little part of Alice in Wonderland. Just a little background. I actually have plans to get Alice painting, well, not necessarily Alice, but just paint, like a paintbrush painting roses tattooed on my shoulder. So I'm working on the drawings for that. Okay, so then we're at the end of the first signature, and I just tucked in this cute little bookmark that I've had kind of in my stash. My husband gave me a whole set of Alice in Wonderland bookmarks, and they just have like quotes and little illustration. And it does have their branding on it, so if you wanted to get more, you could. I think he probably bought them on Amazon, to be honest. Okay, so the start of, obviously that's a belly band, and I just used some of that trim. The start of the second signature, I just made this little envelope, which is lined with a vintage Alice book page, which actually has a Cheshire cat, and just a punch out heart that I created like the closure for the envelope with. And then I paper clipped it because I didn't want it to fall out. So, and then here's the little tab on this one. I just love the little heart. Okay, so here we go. I need to trim that. Okay, we don't leave it hanging out, so I'll trim it after. Flipping through here, here's a little tuck spot that I made. It's actually a double tuck spot, so you can tuck something in the smaller part, which is actually made with the illustration. And then here was, like, this was the title page, I guess. And so I just used the negative from my heart punch closure over here on this bingo card and created a little journaling card for you. Okay, so here's one of my file folder, like, folios, I guess we could call it. Obviously it's got all the same pockets, and there are 8 in total. I did not, again, put anything into them, but they all are pretty sturdy, so that's there for you. I did make it a little bit different this time, so you have a really skinny pocket here, but I wanted to create like a larger pocket on the inside, so I folded it slightly different this time. This is a 3-pocket altered envelope, and I did just tuck one kind of journaling card into it. Is it open? No, it folds out there. So that's made with obviously a bridge score card. And then some more of those little mushrooms. I love these little mushrooms. I fussy cutted all of them. Which I actually really hate fussy cutting, so I try not to do it. But I thought they looked really cute with this theme, so. And then this is another envelope, obviously. There's another of those stamps. And I just clipped it over the page. I originally had planned to tuck it into one of the large pockets, but then I realized I made it basically the same height as my page, so I couldn't. So it just gets clipped. Or you can just tuck it in one of the belly bands or something. And then here we go, that page. I love this. I just loved this Alice in Wonderland, this version. And I know this book is kind of an eclectic feel, like it's got a really kind of vintagey steampunk feel mixed with like the children's book version. And I personally really love that because I kind of feel like I'm split between the two. And so I tried to marry those in this journal. So here's another little book page that I cut out and tucked in. And then there's the tab there, which I love. I had all these little mushrooms and I just decided to make tabs out of them. This is just a single tuck spot. There's the large pocket again. But I didn't make this one as a double like I did the other. Here's a little tiny little notepad that I made. I just had some scraps and I thought that would be cute just tucked right here. Obviously this is a much larger pocket that you can use for something else, but I thought that was cute. I'm going to show you little Alice. I think in total I used 4 different Alice in Wonderland versions in this one book. If I'm counting correctly, I think that's right. But primarily, since it was this little golden book, I used primarily this version. Hopefully that makes sense. And then here is the last pocket, which I made a giant playing card, little mini notebook. And that just tucks in here. And then, of course, my little library pocket that I love to put in the back of each book. This is a true vintage library pocket that I altered, and that I don't think is vintage, but it's distressed. Obviously, I used black distress ink this time instead of my normal vintage photo. I just felt like it tied in a lot of the black accents that I used. So yeah, that's the journal. I will be posting it. I mean, I'll be posting this video on my YouTube later on this morning, and this one will be for sale on my Instagram later today, probably around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So keep an eye out for that. I'll post the link to my Instagram in the description box below. Thanks for watching.